Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. I, male 23, just broke up with my girlfriend, female 21, because she needs an open relationship in the future. We had been together for 2 years, living with each other most of that span. We love each other more than anything. Our relationship was going really great. Then boom. She says she needs to be able to flirt and sleep with other people in the future, and it's part of who she is. She needs that in her life to be happy. I told her before we started dating 2 years ago, I would never be okay with an open relationship, and she said that worked for her. She says she has learned more about who she is now. Fair enough. I asked her if this would be something she would be willing to compromise on for me. She said no. We tried to talk it through for hours. Then I broke up with her. No point in wasting either of our time. I made the only choice I could. But we were each other's everything for so long. I feel empty. I feel like less than half a person. Everything else in our relationship was wonderful. Great communication, sex life, shared activities, all of it. I don't really need advice on the breakup so much as how to recover. If anyone has had to end an otherwise amazing relationship for some reason, please tell me how you coped with that. Ask for a question, you're definitely going to get an answer. Add the bad starts us off. Recover by spending time on yourself. No need to rush into anything new. I'm sure you'll meet someone more like-minded in time. Be thankful you caught this early. Next list of advice comes from Anon Stories Throwaway. There are steps to follow that work even though they are horribly difficult. 1. Talk with your friends more. You may not realize that you're isolating yourself, so make it a point to see your friends at least twice a week for right now and talk with them about the breakup so that they can help out. 2. Start working out and cooking. A healthy body is a healthy mind, filled with all the happy chemicals. 3. Like everyone, eventually you will have a rebound. Try your best to not hurt the other person and understand it's something temporary. 4. Avoid looking at her social media as much as possible. It's only going to hurt no matter what you see. Don't contact her. Don't look at her until you've got a good support network. 5. Don't pretend you're fine. It's okay to be angry or sad. Just focus on your hobbies and what actually makes you happy. I'm sure there's something you've always wanted to do or learn that you've been neglecting. Sorry this happened to you. Appreciate the good times and learn from the bad. Not every woman will hurt you. This is just her. Next, Snosberry383. Dude, you made the most correct adult decision you could have made. Dating is all about finding the person who fits you. She wasn't it. Look at it like a learning experience. And now, you know this is one of those things you won't compromise on. You get one life to live. Don't sacrifice your own happiness to make someone else happy at your own expense. It's all about finding someone you match with. Last comment coming from Eric Viking 007 Great job. You did the right thing. It is a little painful now. You will be happy and healthy sooner. I was in an open relationship for many years, but the now ex-wife forgot to tell me. On to the next adventure. My 46 female partner, 50 male, got another woman pregnant, but my daughter is begging me not to leave him. My partner and I have been together for 21 years. We have a 15-year-old daughter together and live together, but we never got married. For the first 3 years of our relationship, my partner and I lived out of our car and then later lived out of a trailer. He was not college educated, but was trying to build a business, and I was working my way through an associate's degree while taking minimum wage jobs. Around the 4th year of our relationship, my partner became very confident about a certain business prospect and invested all of what we both had into the business. The business investment ended up tanking horribly, and my partner said that the only reason he stayed alive in the midst of the depression he felt during the aftermath was because of me. I read about this because every time our relationship for the past 5 years comes to a breaking point in my eyes, my partner cites those early years where we only had each other and desperately needed each other to convince me to stay. And it always works, because I feel like we've been through so much together and nobody else will have the potential to appreciate a history with me the way my partner has caused to. My partner started to earn steady income from his real estate ventures around 10 years ago, but it was after meeting his now business partner and friend 6 years ago that his earnings skyrocketed. However, around that time, my partner started to get irritated with me and our daughter very often. During arguments, he would start screaming at me at the top of his lungs and calling me every single degrading name in the book. He would tell me that I needed to get my loose skin in my stomach cultured because the stretch marks and everything had to be some kind of disease. He made a practical joke out of me when he bragged to his friends that when I told him we needed therapy, he would agree and then just not show up. He used to tell my daughter that she could tell him anything, but now it's been more and more about how we all needed to be more grateful. When I told him I was happy for him and proud after he'd closed a deal, he snapped. My success isn't your success, okay? I have caught him cheating 2 times prior. The first time was with a sugar baby in graduate school, 24 female, that he was giving monthly allowances. He told me that I refused to deal with my loose skin and stretch marks and that I grossed him out by talking about my medical issues. I had pelvic inflammatory disease. Too much, and that if I worked out more, I wouldn't have medical issues. The second one was a 28-year-old real estate agent that worked near the city where he takes the most business trips. He said that his job is stressful, and she was there. After that affair, he told me that he had fetishes, among which was urinating and pooping during sex and physical violence. I tried to indulge him, but he would never stop when I told him I wanted to, and would compare me to how others typically reacted. Then my world fell apart a couple days ago when my 15-year-old came in and cried, telling me that her dad was having an affair and that the mistress, 24 female, had messaged her multiple times on Facebook several months back, but that her dad made her afraid to tell me. She said that her dad ignores and snaps at her after he gets in a fight with me, and is nice to her when things were well between us. The message was around February, and it told her that she and my partner were having an affair and that she deserved to know. Also a bunch of other nasty stuff. Soon after, she told me the mistress had blocked her on Facebook and everything else, but she still has the messages. Her dad said this was just a crazy person and asked her if she wanted, and thus was trying to break her parents apart. And then said that a lot of her classmates with divorced parents rarely see their dads and struggle a lot financially, and even told her some stuff about how her health insurance would probably be non-existent the moment she turns 18, and mine would be gone the moment we separated. I confronted my partner and he admitted to having a 2-year affair with the woman, and he said that she gave him the things I would deny him sexually, and I always made him feel less than. I told him I didn't want to see him right now, and asked him if I was seriously kicking him out of the house he bought and I never put a dime into it. I told him to leave, and he did. After he left, my daughter became super distraught and said that she is getting panic attacks just thinking about the possibility of the mistress becoming her stepmother, and begged me to take my partner back if it meant avoiding her ever having to live under the same roof as her. I looked through my partner's things and went through financial records that he had banned me from around 6 years ago. I found out that he had recently made payments to a doctor's office that was an OBGYN and very expensive jewelry store purchases. I looked it up and saw that it was indeed an OBGYN office that advertised itself as catering to the elite. I then saw a string of iCloud messages, one of which said that if worse comes to worse, that I could not find out about the baby until it was born for financial reasons. When my partner came back to get some of his stuff, I told him to tell me if he got her pregnant. He admitted it, and then started begging for forgiveness and citing that we've been through so much and that he will always care for me if I still allow him to. He refused to tell me when he found out about the baby or when it would be due, and told me that he was supporting their baby and the mother to his best ability, but that whatever she did, she deserved privacy. I asked him if he promised her marriage, and he said no and denied ever buying her a ring. Then he broke down and said that he did have great affection for her, but he wanted to work things out with me. What do I do? I don't even know if he wants to work things out. My sister told me that she thinks he just doesn't want me to file for child support before the child is born because that would mean less money. My daughter's depressed and always in hysterics. She tries to reach out to her father and begs me to call him and asks if we can work this out. I don't know whether I should try. A part of me still cannot forget all those years we spent together of our turbulent youth and how much he once meant to me. I don't want to believe that my partner will not come around in terms of being affectionate towards our daughter because he's mad at me, but I feel like I don't know him anymore. I also feel that my daughter will resent the fact that I'm already looking for jobs and will be the primary breadwinner, which I don't care about since I've been beyond poor, but of course it might hurt my daughter. Let's check in with the reactions. Stereo on cooking bacon. Get your 15-year-old daughter out of the situation and file for child support now. You are teaching your daughter what to expect and accept in a relationship. If you don't want your girl to accept this later, don't you accept it now. Little Mountain Mama chimes in, document all of this and leave this SOB. Explain to your daughter that this is not just about the affair, it's the culmination of years of abuse she hasn't seen, and don't go into detail. And that if she doesn't want to be around him much, you'll fight for that. Get her a therapist, and you one too. Take him to the freaking cleaners. Who cares if you've been through a lot together? He's saying that to manipulate you because he knows it works. He's put you through more. Shove him off on Miss Steele, your loser, and giggle every time you think of him changing a diaper at 3 a.m. Herd Nerver has another comment before we move on. Would you be okay with your daughter staying with a cheater? I'm guessing not, and setting that example will show her a very unhealthy way to deal with her relationship issue. Show her that you deserve someone who you can trust and wants to make you happy. Yes, she will be mad at you for a while, but she will understand eventually. Odds are if you stay with him and in 10 years you are miserable and she knows it's because of her, she will be filled with guilt and shame. Alright, on to the next story. My girlfriend of 3 years lied about her relationship with her male BFF, and I don't know what to do. So this happened a few years ago, and I'm wondering what other people would have done in this situation. I was planning on proposing to my girlfriend at the spot where we first met each other in person, online dating, which was in my hometown. In order to keep that a surprise, I planned it on a weekend where we were already planning on visiting her best guy friend, who lives near enough to my hometown. Now about their relationship. Ever since seeing the first interactions between them and how they talk about each other, I always had this feeling that they were too close to each other to have always been strictly platonic. I can't explain it and can't even give clear-cut examples of why I had this feeling in my gut, but I just didn't believe that something never happened between them. So short backstory for me. I grew up in a house where we weren't allowed to get angry. Parents were never in the wrong, and if someone hurts you, it's probably your fault anyway. Now, as an adult, I find it hard to process my feelings in uncomfortable situations to where someone could be a complete a-hole to me, and I would just freeze and let them. Even try to justify them treating me that way and question, am I allowed to be mad at this? Our house was also conservative, so topics like sex were a taboo subject. It was this huge deal, and it was only supposed to happen with one person, your spouse. Now, I was able to not feel like I had to follow these restrictive thoughts, but I still am not as casual about sex as other people may be. Like, I cannot be friends with an ex or just casually have sex with friends or anything like that and just act like nothing happened. However, I understand that others may be able to do this, and I hold no judgment towards them. I also recognize that my significant other may do these things as well, so I only ask that they just let me know who these friends are, if they're still in my significant other's life, and how far they have gone with them. This way, I can process this information, and when it inevitably comes up, I won't have to freeze up and be blindsided and uncomfortable. Heck, maybe even joke about it back. These two parts of me don't seem relevant, but they both come into play with what happened with my girlfriend. Now back to my girlfriend. I had this feeling that they had done things with each other, so I straight up asked her if they had done anything together. I even told her why I was asking and needed to know so I could avoid the above situations. She admitted that she made out with his girlfriend at the time in front of him and felt him over his pants with her hand during. I believed her, and life went on. A few more times I see them interact, and sometimes the way she speaks about him when he's not around makes me ask her, "Are you sure that's all you two have done together?" Again, she assured me that that's all. I asked her on a couple more occasions when I have my doubts, but every time she calmly says yes, so I had no tangible reasons to not believe her. Cut to us drinking with him and his new fiancée. We're playing a drinking game, and he wants to say something about what has happened between him and my girlfriend, but doesn't want to make things weird. I confidently say, "Go ahead, she has told me everything," and after many reassurances by me, he reveals that my girlfriend has full-on given him a blowjob. I couldn't even think, and I was drunk, so that wasn't helping things at all. I felt so hurt and humiliated. I kept trying to reassure everyone that I was fine, but it was very obvious to everyone that I wasn't. She had lied to me on several occasions, which led to me being put into the exact situation that I was trying to avoid by asking her about the relationship. If she would have been honest, I could have known this info and been fine when it came up. And FYI, I wouldn't give a crap if she full-on slept with him or had a romantic relationship with him, but it's the fact that she lied to me over and over again, even knowing why I was asking and putting me in this situation, that I desperately wanted to avoid. Later, she would tell me that she didn't want me to stop her from seeing him, so that's why she lied. This completely ruined the weekend, and I contemplated not proposing that weekend, if only because it was now tainted by her lies. So I'm asking what someone else would have done in the situation. Mostly, what you would do afterwards. Asking for advice. Here it comes. Forsaken Historian 6 says, "Do yourself a favor and show yourself some respect. You already know the answer to this question. She lied, and she lied for a reason. Discern how much that matters to you, because if she lied about this, think she will lie again? Just a matter of time before you start unraveling all the other lies. Now I could be totally wrong, but there is a better chance I'm not. The situation you describe is humiliating and disrespectful at best. This will eat at you for the remainder of the time. You gave her all the reasons she needed to be honest. You sound mature and non-possessive. That's what makes the lying even more baffling. If I were you, I would start from the beginning and try to encourage raw and brutal honesty. And if I felt that couldn't happen, I would end the relationship. Everyone deserves respect. Well, most do. And that was painfully disrespectful to you. So you're going through this. Heads up, brother. Edit. The reason this is a huge deal isn't the lie itself. It's the motive behind it. This wasn't a little white lie. This was a bold-faced bamboozlery, and I can assure you, it's more nefarious than it seems. She's still sleeping with that very BFF. See, that BFF knew that you didn't know about the BJ. He was rubbing it in your face. She may be with you, but I still clap those cheeks. One more comment from No Information. Later she would tell me that she didn't want me to stop her from seeing him, so that's why she lied. She lied with the intention of never saying anything, mate. I'm sorry, but this isn't what a good partner would do to you. You are supposed to be a team. You're supposed to trust each other, especially with stuff that might cross boundaries. How are you supposed to find solutions and create healthy boundaries in a relationship if she lies to you so that you can't start a conversation about boundary crossing? She sounds like she isn't a very thoughtful or empathetic person, and she lied several times to keep you from finding out the whole extent. She knew that you could feel that something was up, yet she chose to keep you in the dark in order to make things easier for herself, even if it meant that she was dishonest, kept you in this state of discomfort and caused this cruel relationship in the end. What would happen in similar situations in the future, when she knows that being honest could lead to her disadvantage? Would she continue to lie to you whenever it's convenient for her, even when it might hurt you or the relationship in the long run? How can you trust her to find solutions for problems within the relationship when she thinks that avoidance by lying is the way to go? She doesn't even sound sorry. She's just sorry that she got caught. Honestly, I'd reconsider her proposal and also the entire relationship. She knew what she was doing, but she did it anyways. She should have realized that you would be fine with her history after she told you about their makeout session, etc. So her argument of you not letting her see him would only make sense if she was not ruling out an affair with him or something. I don't think I could ever trust her words or intent again after this stunt. I'm sorry.